Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. And one last thing, don't forget to be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to be awesome. And yeah, man, sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Dynamite Road Rager for July 7th, 2021, man. Now, man, with this show, man, this is a great show. Really great show, bro. You know, we had a great main event, bro. Tag team championship match, street fight match. Not only that, you know, the crowd being back, dude. Full packed crowd in Miami, Florida, bro. Really good stuff, bro. And the crowd reactions on the show, bro. I really love the crowd reaction. They were into everything. When I mean everything, they were in everything. You know, and another thing that happened on the show, Aleister Black, aka MALAKI Black, aka Tommy N, made his debut tonight on AEW Dynamite. So I thought that was shocking. I thought it was really shocking. I knew he was going to debut in AEW, but I did not know he was going to debut tonight. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that later though, but that's one of the big things that happened on the show tonight. But yeah, man, we had the face-to-face with Jericho and MJF. I thought that was really good too, man. It just, man, tonight it was just a great show, bro. It was a breath of fresh air, man. A breath of fresh air. You know, just having the audience back, just having the crowd back because the crowds were missed. It was absolutely missed. Like we missed the crowds for so long, bro. And it was just a breath of fresh air to have them back. And so the crowd, man, the crowd absolutely made this show better, bro. They made it absolutely better. Like that, just the reactions, dude. I just love the crowd reaction throughout the whole entire night. So you're gonna hear me say that a lot because I absolutely love the crowd, bro. And so yeah, man. That was with Dynamite, man. And just like what I said in my intro, man. If you haven't done this already, man, hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here to the Ryan Awesome Show, hit the subscribe button, and then right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. And you click on that bell, and when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded because I'm here each and every single week, man. So yeah, man. So we started off Road Rager, AEW Dynamite Road Rager with the South Beach strap match. So yeah, it was Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson. Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson versus, Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson versus QT Marshall with the Factory in his corner. So that's Aaron Solow and Nick Comoroto. So yeah, QT, he did not get an entrance. He got a jobber's entrance. So QT, he was already in the ring. Cody made his entrance. The crowd was going crazy. And so yeah, we had a tope suicida. So QT, you know, he was showing off, and then Cody hit a tope to QT. And then Cody, he had to control of the match. So basically, the rules of this match in a strap match, you have to hit four corners of the ring. But if you get interrupted, or if your opponent brings you in the middle of the ring, then you got to start over again. So yeah, so Cody, he took control of the match. We had a power slam to QT. And then Cody, he had hit QT with the strap. And then Cody, he went to all three corners, so he touched three corners, but he did not make it to the fourth corner because Aaron Solo had took out Cody Rhodes. And so yeah, this is a no disqualification. And so yeah, so Dustin Rhodes, he had came out to the ring and he had took out Aaron Solo. He had fought him in the crowd. And so we had a QT, he had hit Cody with the strap. And in QT, he started to hit the turnbuckles. And so Cody Rhodes, behind QT Marshall, he had touched the turnbuckles as well. And so at one point, QT, he started bleeding. I think because they were fighting outside the ring at one point, and I think he hit his head on the ring post, and so he started bleeding. And so we had a German suplex to Cody. And so Cody, he started to hit the corners. And so yeah, the lights had cut off. So keep that in mind, bro. Keep that in mind. Like keep the lights going off in mind. So the lights had cut off the first time. So we thought that it was a technical issue. And so that's what we thought it was. And so, the commentary team, Jim Ross, he had to say that, hey, we having technical difficulties here. And so, yeah, the lights had cut off. And then the lights had cut back on. And so we had a backbreaker into a flatliner to Cody Rhodes, which was nice. And so we had an avalanche powerbomb to Cody Rhodes. And in QT, he had trapped Cody Rhodes with the strap, kind of like a straight jacket. And so we had QT, he had a draping diamond cutter to Cody Rhodes off the top rope. And so QT, he started hitting the corners. And so Cody Rhodes had stopped QT. And so, yeah, so QT, he started hitting Cody Rhodes with the strap. And so that fired up Cody. And so Cody started fighting back. And then Cody, he had hit the Cody cutter on QT. I love the Cody cutter, bro. And so we had a Cody chants from the crowd. So the crowd chanting Cody, Cody, Cody. And so, yeah, Cody, he was touching the turnbuckles. And so when he was about to go to the fourth turnbuckle, I think it was, QT, he had spit in Cody Rhodes' face. So he spit in his face. And so, yeah, that fired up Cody Rhodes. He went right after QT. He had 3 crossroads on QT. And so Cody Rhodes, he hit all 4 turnbuckles to win the match. So Cody Rhodes wins the match. And that was it, man. Hopefully that is the end of the feud. Hopefully that's the end of the feud because, yeah, after what happened tonight, it is the end of the feud, man. So, yeah, so this is it with the Factory versus the Nightmare Family. What's next for the Factory? I don't know. Since QT lost, I don't know what's next for QT and the Factory. But they should have done a better job at building up these guys. But yeah, so Cody Rhodes, he won the match, which was a great opener, man. Great opener match. So Cody Rhodes wins the match. And so yeah, that was it with that, man. That was it with the match. And so yeah. So right after that we had Shawn Spears representing the Pinnacle. He had spoke, the chairman, Shawn Spears. He was talking about Sammy Guevara, how he bragged about taking out Sammy Guevara last week with that chair. And so, he was talking about Sammy, and then, Sammy Guevara, he had came out of nowhere and threw a chair at Shawn Spears' face. And so Sammy, he had said that, this is far from over. Our feud is far from over. And so, yeah, that was it with that. So we might be seeing a match with Sammy and Shawn Spears, probably at Fyter Fest, maybe at Fyter Fest Night 2. I don't know. But yeah, it should be good, man. It should be really good. And so, yeah, so right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He was in the middle of the ring. He interviews Kenny by God Omega, who is the Impact World Champion, the AAA Heavyweight Champion, and the Impact World Champion, with Don Callis in his corner. So, yeah, so Tony Schiavone, he called out Kenny Omega. And so, yeah, Tony Schiavone, he wasn't happy to see Don Callis. And so Callis had took the microphone away from Schiavone. So, yeah, this is the first time somebody took the mic away from Schiavone. And so, yeah. So Callis, he was talking. And so the crowd, this is why I love the crowd, man. This is exactly why I love the crowd, bro. The crowd, they had chanted to Don Callis, "You got fired. You got fired." And so that's a reference to Impact because he got fired from Impact Wrestling as the EVP. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, so Callis, he had said that real guys are real men, real men, they get fired. Real men don't quit, they get fired. And so yeah, so Callis, he was talking about Kenny Omega's accolades, going down a list of all the guys that Kenny Omega beaten. And so, yeah, Callis, he had called Omega the god of pro wrestling. And so Callis, he had said that there's nobody left for Kenny Omega to beat. And so the crowd started chanting for Adam Hangman Page and all that stuff. And so the Dark Order came out. All 9,000 of them came out. The crowd went crazy when the Dark Order music had hit. And so Evil Uno, he had grabbed the mic. He was talking. And so he had asked Omega, like, why are you ignoring the crowd? You know what the crowd wants. Why are you ignoring the crowd? And why are you afraid of my friend? Why are you afraid of my friend? He didn't name him, but we all know who he was talking about. He was talking about Page, Adam Hangman Page. And so Omega had asked Evil Uno a question. I forgot the question that he asked. I think he was talking about Thailand or something like that. And so Omega, he had gave Evil Uno a low blow, so he low blow Evil Uno. And so yeah, the Dark Order, they try to gang up on Omega, but the Elite had ambushed him. Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, the Good Brothers, had ambushed the Dark Order. And so yeah, so they were fighting. The Elite and the Dark Order were fighting, and so you had Hangman Adam Page. His music had hit, and the crowd went crazy, bro. The crowd went absolutely crazy when Hangman Adam Page music hit. And so Page that came out, he took out the Elite. I mean, not the Elite. He took out the Elite. Yeah, he did take out the Elite. I'm thinking about something else. So yeah, so Page, took out the Elite. And so yeah, so Omega, he was left in the ring. So Omega was left in the ring, and so Page, he was about to go for the buckshot lariat, but he had stopped himself. Kenny Omega, he was up, and so Page, he had stopped himself, but instead he went inside the ring and started staring at Omega. So they were face to face, and so Carl Anderson, he tried to take out Page from the side. He tried to distract him so Kenny Omega could take him out, but Page, he had saw Omega coming, so Omega, he had got out the ring. And that was it, man. That was it, man. Great stuff, bro. And I absolutely love the crowd reaction, man. And so another thing I like, man, the fact that they did not touch each other. Page and Omega did not touch each other, which I love, man. Save the match. Save the match, because if they would have touched each other, man, you would have gave away parts of the match. So I'm glad that they did not touch each other, bro. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had a backstage interview, or a sit down interview, from good old JR Jim Ross. He had sat down with Darby Allin and Ethan Page. So yeah, they were both talking about their upcoming match next week at Fyter Fest, the coffin match, or the casket match, whatever you want to call it. And so yeah, Darby Allin, he was talking about his upbringings and all that stuff, the sacrifices that he made in his life. And he said that Darby Allin, he had said that Page is complacent. He lives in a world of complacency. And so Page, he had said that, he brought up Darby Allin. He brought up Darby Allin in this world of professional wrestling. Like, I brought you into this world, and next week I'm going to take you out of this world of professional wrestling. Next week in our coffin match. And so, yeah, that was it with that. So that should be a really good match. And the match was supposed to be tonight, but they moved it. And so, yeah, man, the match should be good. The match should be really good. I think the reason why they moved it away is because the show was probably so stacked. Like, everything else probably would have overshadowed the coffin match. But, they made the right move. They made the right move by moving it to next week. So yeah, so the match is next week. Who wins? I don't know. Probably, I'm guessing Darby Allin wins the match. That's what I'm guessing. But yeah, that's it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had the trios match. So this is the match I was looking forward to, man. We had the trios match. We had the Pinnacle. We had Wardlow and FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, with Tully Blanchard in their corner versus the Inner Circle. So that's Jake Hager and Proud and Powerful. That's Santana and Ortiz with Konnan in their corner. So yeah, so Santana and Harwood, they went right after each other because they have a feud. And so we had the Three Amigos to Harwood from Santana. And we had a power slam, from midair, man. A power slam to Ortiz from Wheeler. And we had a gut wrench powerbomb to Ortiz from Wardlow. So that's shades of Hager right there. So Wardlow, he was sticking it to Hager with that move. And so we had a hot tag to Hager. And then Hager, he had hit the Hager bomb on Wheeler. And so Hager, he was all over the place, man. He took out everybody, man. So, yeah, so the Pinnacle, they did ended up taking back control of the match during the commercial break. Picture-in-picture, of course. And so we had a hot tag to Ortiz. He took out the Pinnacle. And we had an inverted power slam, or his inverted power slam to Wheeler from Hager. And then Wardlow, he had broke up the pin. And so Wardlow and Hager, they were face-to-face. They haven't touched each other yet, so they're face-to-face. And so both of these guys, they were going back and forth. We had Hager, he had locked in the ankle lock to Wardlow. But FTR, they had broke up the submission move. And so to end the match, man, we had the FTR guys. They hit the Shatter Machine, or the Big Rig. So they call it the Big Rig because of, Brody Lee. So they named it after Brody Lee. So The name of their finishing move is the Big Rig, or AKA the Shatter Machine. So they hit it on Hager to win the match. So the Pinnacle wins the match, and that was it, man. And so yeah, so right after the match, we had Konnan. He came out of nowhere. He just came from behind and hit Wardlow with a sock. I think it was loaded with baseballs. He had like a balls or balls in general. I don't know, a baseball, or like two baseballs or something like that. And he hit Wardlow over the back with it. And so Wardlow, he had no sold it, and so Tully Blanchard from behind, he had gave Konnan a chop block from behind. So that was it with that. And the Pinnacle had left the ring. And so yeah, man, that was it with that, man. Really great match, great back and forth with these guys, and I would definitely love to see more FTR and Santana and Ortiz, bro. Possibly for the tag team championships whenever the Bucks drop the title. I think the Bucks, they will drop the titles eventually. I think they'll drop it to Proud and Powerful, and then we'll have FTR and Proud and Powerful feud over those titles. That's just me. That's the way I'll go, man. That's the way I'll go, because Santana and Ortiz should have already been the AEW World Tag Team Champions. But yeah, and the FTR guys should have held on to those titles longer, man, before they even dropped it to the Bucks. But yeah, this is what I would have done: have FTR held on to those championships up to this point, and have Proud and Powerful take the titles off of them. That's what I would have done. But they gave it to the Bucks, and that's okay, man. That's okay. The Bucks are good, man. The Bucks are great. So yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, we had a video package of Arn Anderson. He was talking about Jon Moxley, and he challenged him for his IWGP United States Championship at Fyter Fest next week. So he called out Jon Moxley and called him out for his championship. So Arn Anderson, he wants the IWGP United States Championship, and that was it, man. And of course, Jon Moxley, he will win. It's Jon Moxley's first match back, and he will win. And so yeah, man, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after this, we had the face-to-face standoff between MJF and Chris Jericho, man. And so yeah, man. So first off, man, MJF, he had came out first, and we had went to commercial break, and then Jericho had came out, and so the crowd was doing their usual thing. They was singing Judas. And so yeah, when Jericho got in the ring, bro, they had some idiot rush the ring to try to take out Jericho, and the security guards had to take that guy out of the ring. They ran in that ring quick. And I think Jericho, he got some shots in too. I think Jericho actually punched the guy. And the security guards were breaking him away from Jericho and all that stuff. And MJF, he was mad too. Like at first I didn't know what was going on. I was like, man, what is going on? Because the camera had went away. The camera had went away from the ring and just pointed to the crowd. And so I was like, man, did somebody just rush the ring? I was like, dude, like what would possess anybody to jump inside of a ring, a wrestling ring? So you pay your money. You pay your money to show up at a show, and then you're going to go inside of a ring to try to ruin the show, dude? Like, dude, come on, dude. What type of a low life are you to do something like that? So yeah, that was it with that. That was it. I don't know what would possess anybody to do that, bro. But yeah, if I was Jericho, I would have knocked the guy out. I would have knocked that dude out, man. If somebody would have gotten in the ring, if I'm in the ring and somebody come in my space, man, I will absolutely level them. I will love them to the ground. But yeah, that was it with that, man. So Jericho, MJF, they were talking, and then Jericho, he had said that, I probably would have let that guy beat you up, MJF. And so Jericho, he had said that, he'll have sex with MJF's mom again. He said that. And so the crowd started chanting, "Who's your daddy?" to MJF. And then MJF was mad. He told the crowd to shut up. And so, yeah, MJF, he was talking about Jericho and the rivalry that he had with Moxley when Jericho was the champion. And the crap that Jericho had to put Moxley through. When Moxley wanted a championship match, he had to beat every member of the inner circle. And so I'm guessing that's what MJF trying to do with Jericho. And so, yeah. And yeah, so MJF, he said that he's better than Jericho. He's better than Jericho, and he knows it. And so Jericho, he started to speak too. He said that he was the god. He was the god of war of AEW, the god of war of AEW. And so Jericho, he had accepted MJF's challenge, and and he said that he will beat MJF. He will beat MJF, and he will make his life a living hell, the same way that he made his life a living hell. And so they had a contract on the table. And so Jericho had signed the contract, And so Jericho tried to leave the ring. He tried to leave the ring. Jericho tried to leave the ring, but MJF, he had said that where I'm from, you know where I'm from, a deal is not over until we shake hands. And so he wanted Jericho to shake his hand, and he yelled at Jericho to shake my hand. And so yeah, so they both shook hands, and so Jericho had held on to MJF's hand, and so Jericho had gave him a Judas effect, and so that was it with that, man. Really good stuff, man. Great promo, bro. Great promo from both guys. And so yeah, with this, MJF, he needs to win. MJF needs to win the match. Jericho could take a loss, man. Jericho is the type of guy that could take a loss. He is bulletproof. He could take a loss and nothing can happen to him. But MJF, man, MJF, he has to win this match. He has to win this match to make him. He's already a mega heel. He's already a mega heel, bro. Make him a mega heel, man, by having him beat Jericho. And you built him up as his undefeated guy, undefeated singles wrestler, man. And you have him and to have him lose to Jericho, it's not gonna be the right move. Have him beat Jericho. It's all about the future, man. MJF is the future. You gotta build up the future, man. So that's why I'm guessing that MJF, he will win the match. And so yeah, man. Because I think Jericho, I think he will be traveling soon with his band with Fozzy. So I think because he did mention in the promo that if I can't beat you, I shouldn't even be in AEW. So he might lose. He will lose to MJF and Jericho. He's gonna take some time off. He's gonna take a hiatus from AEW so he can tour with his band. So that's why I'm thinking that MJF, he's gonna win the match with Jericho. And so yeah, man. So yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had a backstage segment from Tony Schiavone. So Tony Schiavone is all over the place, bro. So yeah, he had interviewed Dr. Britt Baker D.M.D, who is the AEW Women's Champion with Rebel. And so yeah, so Baker, she started talking about the terrible tag team match from last week with Nyla Rose and Vickie Guerrero versus Baker and Rebel, and how terrible of a match it was. We all know how terrible it was. It was really bad. And so yeah, she started to talk about Rebel and her injury because she did get injured in the match. Legit, she had torn her kneecap or something like that. And so yeah, so Baker, she was complaining about how Rebel got injured in the match and all that stuff. And she talked about Tony Khan saying that he never should have booked the match. He never should have booked the match. And then she was complaining about Vickie Guerrero, her not belonging inside of a ring. And so yeah, so she said that Tony Khan, I think I'm glad Tony Khan thinks, the reason why he brought Vickie Guerrero in was to get Andrade El Idolo in the AEW. And she said she had mentioned something about blood money. And so she had said blood money. So she said that Tony Khan bringing in Andrade El Idolo, or I guess Tony Khan agreeing to Vickie Guerrero or giving Vickie Guerrero what she wanted was example of taking blood money. And so Baker, she had said that since we want to do that, you might as well just have a show in Saudi Arabia. So the crowd was like, oh. So the crowd, I was like, ouch, man. I was like, ooh. So yeah, so Saudi Arabia, man. That was crazy, man. So yeah, so she mentioned Saudi Arabia and blood money and all that stuff. And so yeah, so that's a clear shot at WWE, man, because they have their shows in Saudi Arabia. And yeah, I'm not gonna get into details with Saudi Arabia, but you already know. So yeah, so Baker said that the next time that they're there, I think the next week's show is gonna be in Dallas, or the next show after that. I don't know which show it is, but one Dynamite is gonna be in Dallas. So Baker, she has said that Dallas, Texas, right? The Big D, Dallas, Texas. That's what they like to call itself, the Big D. And so Baker said that Dallas, Texas is the Big D.M.D, and that was it with that. And so yeah, so we will have a championship match with Nyla Rose and Britt Baker. And Britt Baker, she needs to win, man. She needs to win. The match probably not gonna be that good. It's probably not gonna be that good. But Britt Baker, she needs to win the match. She needs to win the match because we all love Britt Baker, man. And Nyla Rose, she does not deserve another match, a championship match. So yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had a match, and it was Matt Sydal versus Andrade El Idolo, with Vickie Guerrero and assistant. I don't know who this guy was, an assistant. So she came out. So yeah, they came out together. So it was Vickie Guerrero and the assistant, and the corner of Andrade El Idolo's corner. So yeah, so Andrade he had came out, and so he came out wearing a suit. So I love the entrance, man, of Andrade. He came out with a white suit, and he came out with a black mask. So I thought that was really cool, man. He took off the mask, and the firecrackers that went off, or the pyro went off. So I thought it was really cool. And you had the Idolo chant from the crowd, so the crowd started chanting Idolo. And so yeah, so we started off the match. We had a twisted brain buster to Sydal, and Andrade he did his moonsault, his faint moonsault. So he hit the moonsault on the top of the rope, and he hit a standing moonsault in the middle of the ring. I love that move, man. So he hit that on Sydal, and so Sydal he went right after Andrade's leg, and we had a jumping kick to Andrade, and Andrade he took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And so we had a lariat to Sydal. So both of these guys they were going back and forth, and then Andrade he had a lariat to Sydal. They absolutely loved him, man. Turned him inside out. And so we had a diving meteora to Andrade. He kicked out. We had a corner meteora to Sydal. So Andrade he had a meteora of his own. And so to end the match, we had Andrade. He had his finishing move, that hammerlock DDT. He calls it the El Idolo to Sydal to win the match. So Andrade El Idolo wins the match, and that was it, man. Great match, man. Great debut match. And so yeah, so right after the match, we had Andrade. He had grabbed his belt from his pants, and he had locked in a submission move. It looked like an arm lock or a version of a rings of Saturn or something like that. He had locked it in, and he started to pull from the belt, stretching his arm, stretching Sydal's arm, and that was it. So he was, because he had to get his revenge from last week, not last week, but the week before that when he interrupted Andrade when he was giving his big surprise or his big announcement. So, so Sydal he got what was coming to him. So yeah, that was it with that. And yeah, who's next for Andrade, man? Who Andrade is gonna target next? That's what I want to know. Who exactly he's gonna target next? And so yeah, man, that should be really good, man. Who's next? I don't know. But yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had a video package. We had a video package from Christian Cage and Matt Hardy. So yeah, they were talking about their match that's coming up. And for weeks I've been asking, like, man, when is this match? When is this match? And so we found out when the match was. The match is gonna be on Fyter Fest Night 1. And so yeah, man, I just want the match to happen already, so we can be over with this already, man. And so yeah, so Fyter Fest Night 1, Matt Hardy versus Christian Cage. And so, which is next week. So it's next week. So right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. So Tony Schiavone is a busy man. So yeah, Tony Schiavone, he was in the middle of the ring. He interviews Arn Anderson. And so yeah, so Arn Anderson he was talking. And so yeah, while Arn Anderson he was talking, bro, the lights had cut off. And so it's the second time that the lights had cut off tonight. And so the lights had cut off, and it took a very long time for the lights to cut back on. And so at that point, we all thought it was the power issues and all that stuff. The commentary team was playing it like it was a power issue or a power outage and all that stuff. And so the lights had came back on, and you saw Aleister Black, bro. You saw Aleister Black, Tommy N. Aleister Black, a.k.a. Tommy N., a.k.a. MALAKI Black, who he's going by now. So MALAKI Black, a.k.a. Tommy N., he took out Arn Anderson. The crowd goes crazy, man. Like once he showed up, like once the lights had cut back on, like the crowd started going crazy, man. That Aleister Black was there, and so Aleister Black he hit the black mass on Arn Anderson, and so Cody Rhodes he had came out to the ring, and so he had he was talking to Black, I guess talking sense to Black, telling him to back up and all that stuff, and so Cody he went to go check on Arn Anderson, but Aleister Black, he hit the black mass. He hit the black mass on Cody Rhodes, and so the crowd was going crazy. So yeah, so this is the best part, bro. The best part of the show, bro. Aleister Black, Tommy N, MALAKI Black, whatever you want to call him, bro. He is here. Aleister Black is here. Or MALAKI Black is here. I gotta get used to the name, man. I gotta get used to the name MALAKI Black. MALAKI Black is All Elite Wrestling, and at that point, like when I saw him, I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" Like I was screaming it from the top of my lungs. I was like, "My god, Black is here! Black is All Elite Wrestling. He's All Elite." Out there, I was marking out, bro. I was marking out, man. It was crazy, man. I did not expect him to show up tonight. Like we all knew, everybody and their mama know that Aleister Black was gonna show up in AEW, but we did not know that he was gonna show up tonight. So that's why it was shocking, bro. That's why it was absolutely shocking. And so yeah, man, it was shocking. And so yeah, man. So yeah, crowd went crazy, and so Malachi Black is his name, and so his first target is Cody Rhodes. So he target Cody Rhodes tonight. So yeah, so a feud with Cody Rhodes, man, should be really great, bro. Really great. And so yeah, man, I just can't wait. I just can't wait for his first match. Cannot wait for it, bro. This is the Aleister Black that we wanted to see. This is the Malachi Black that we wanted to see in WWE. And now finally he's here where he's gonna be treated with respect in AEW. And so yeah, man, that was it with that, man. That was it with that. And one takeaway of the show that everybody's gonna be talking about. And so yeah, man, that was it with that. So Malachi Black is all elite. And so yeah, so right after that we had Starkman Ricky Starks, my fellow Louisianian Ricky Starks. He had spoke. And so yeah, so Starks came out to the ring with security guards and he was talking about Brian Cage and all that stuff in a match for the FTW championship. And so he started talking trash about Brian Cage. And so Team Taz was out there. You had Hook, you had Will Hobbs, and you had Taz coming out there. And Taz, he wanted to tell Ricky Starks to stop, like, hey, stop talking about Cage like that. And so yeah, so Starks he had mentioned Cage's wife, so he started talking about Brian Cage's wife. So once you mention somebody's family or their kids or their wife, that's it, man. You took it to a personal level. So yeah, so Brian Cage he had came out to the ring. He went to go after Starks. So Starks he had ran out of the ring, and so Cage he had took out the security guards that was in the ring. And so that was it, man. So that was it. So next week it will be for the FTW Championship. It will be Ricky Starks, Starkman Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage for the FTW Championship. And who wins? Who wins? Who wins? I'm guessing Ricky Starks, since Cage is not going to be a part of the Team Taz. I'm guessing he still is part of Team Taz, but the way he's going, he's not going to be a part of Team Taz anymore. And so yeah, man, I really don't know what they're doing with Team Taz. I really don't know, bro. Like they feel like they weak, man. They're weak. You have strong guys in that group, but you making them weak, making the whole entire group weak. And you have a guy like Taz, man, leading the group, and you still making a group look weak. But yeah, man, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had the mixed tag team match. We had the mixed tag team match, and it was the Blade and the Bunny versus Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. And so yeah, so first off, man, going into this match, I did not care about this match, but this is a fun match. This is a fun match. So yeah, so first off, before we even started the match, we had the referee started patting down the Blade, checking to see if he have any weapons. And so the referee had found the brass knuckles, because the referee had found brass knuckles in his tights and the Blade's tights, or in his knee pads, or wherever it was. And so referee had took it out and just threw it away. And so yeah, so we had the most devastating kicks to the Bunny from Orange Cassidy. And so yeah, the crowd was going crazy for the most devastating kicks. And so we had a stunt dog millionaire to the Blade. We had a power slam to the Bunny from Statlander. We had a vertical delayed suplex to the Bunny from Statlander. And then the Blade had tripped up Chris Statlander at one point. And so at that point, we had the Blade and the Bunny that took control of the match during a commercial break, picture-in-picture, of course. We had a German suplex to Statlander off the second rope from the Bunny. We had a tornado DDT to the Blade from Orange Cassidy and kicked out. And so Statlander, she went to the top rope. She had not a 450 splash, but she had a 451 splash to the Blade. And so Orange Cassidy tried to go for the cover, but the Bunny had pulled Cassidy out the ring. And so at that point, the Bunny, she had slid in some brass knuckles, the same brass knuckles that the referee had threw away, to the Blade. And so the Blade has the brass knuckles, and so he hit Orange Cassidy with the brass knuckles behind the referee's back. And so Statlander somehow got a blind tag. And so the Blade doesn't know that Statlander is the legal person. And so yeah, so Blade, he thought he was gonna win the match, so he went for the cover. Referee did not count, because the referee was telling him, like, hey, Cassidy is not legal, Orange is not legal. And so Chris Statlander, she had the Big Bang Theory, her finishing move, the Big Bang Theory to the Bunny to win the match. So Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy wins the match. And that was it, man. Really fun match. Really fun match. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had Jungle Boy. We had Jungle Boy. He was awarded the trophy for being the first ever AEW wrestler to get 50 wins. So yeah, man, Jungle Boy is on top of the world, man. Jungle Boy is on top of the world, man, and a lucky guy at that too, man. A lucky guy too, man. Aren't Jungle Boy is, man. He's dating Anna Jay. He's dating Anna Jay. Anna Jay is a beautiful woman. She is a beautiful woman, and he's just a lucky man. He is a lucky man, dude. Anybody would anybody would wish to be Jungle Boy, man. You dating Anna Jay, bro? Yes. That is an upgrade, bro. A major upgrade. And so yeah, man. So yeah, that was it with that. So the trophy did look nice. It was a nice looking trophy. And so yeah, so congratulations, man. Congratulations to Jungle Boy, man, being the first wrestler to get 50 wins, bro. And Jungle Boy is another person that's the future of AEW, man. And so yeah, so right after that, we had Tony Schiavone again trying to interview some people from the crowd. Interviewed a entourage of MMA fighters or something like that. Uh, some guy. He's a trainer, an MMA trainer. His name is Dan Lambert, I think it is Dan Lambert. Lambert. And so Lambert, he had took the microphone away from Schiavone. So this is the second time that somebody took the microphone away from Schiavone tonight. And so Lambert, he had got in the ring. He started talking about AEW. He said that AEW sucks and all that stuff. And so the crowd started booing. So the guy turned heel. And so yeah, so he was talking about old school wrestling and all that stuff, from the 70s and all that stuff. And the wrestlers of that time, the Dusty Rhodes, the Vern Gagne's and all that. The guys that wrestled in the past, old school wrestlers. And he said that AEW is unwatchable. He said that today's product is unwatchable. And the crowd even booed him even more. And so he said that Tony Khan had invited him. Tony Khan had invited him to the show. And so yeah, he kept talking smack about AEW, and the crowd still booing the guy. And so Lance Archer had came out, crowd going crazy for Lance Archer coming out. And Lance Archer, he had knocked the guy out. He had knocked him out, and he had the blackout. His finishing move, the blackout to Lambert. And so that was it. I don't know what that was about. I don't know why. I don't know what, like, who, like, what, why was he on the show? Like, what was he doing on the show? I don't know. But yeah, man, that was it with that. So before we get into the main event, let's talk about next week's show. So next week's show we have. So next week's show it will be Matt Hardy versus Christian Cage at Fyter Fest Night 1. And we have the coffin match. That's Darby Allin versus Ethan Page, all ego Ethan Page. And that's the coffin match. That's next week for Night 1 for Fyter Fest. And also we have Brian Cage, the FTW champion, versus Ricky Starks for the FTW championship. And that's next week. And also we have Penelope Ford versus Yuka Sakazaki. So that's next week on Fyter Fest Night 1. And also we have Hangman Adam Page. He speaks. We hear from Adam Hangman Page and what he has to say about Kenny Omega and the AEW World Championship. Him potentially being the number one contender. Well, he is the number one contender. And also we have Jon Moxley. So we have Jon Moxley making his return to AEW as the IWGP United States Champion. So he'll be defending his championship against Arn Anderson of the Elite and of the Good Brothers, with Doc Gallows and Don Callis in his corner. So that's next week for the IWGP United States Championship. And yeah, man, that's everything for next week's show. And so yeah, man, that was it. So right after that, we had the main event. So this is the best match on the show. This is the best match on the show, man. We had the Street Fight Tag Team Championship match. And it was Eddie Kingston, the Mad King Eddie Kingston, and Pentagon with Alex Abrahantes in their corner versus the Young Bucks, who are the AEW World Tag Team Champions, as Matt and Nick Jackson, with Don Callis, who was on commentary, and Brandon Cutler, who is at ringside. And so yeah, man, this is funny, bro. This is absolutely funny. So yeah, the Bucks, they had came out dressed for the fight, street clothes. They were wearing short jeans or jorts, whatever you want to call them. And so this is funny, man. You had Nick Jackson. He had as earrings, he had cigarettes. He had cigarettes as earrings. He was wearing the cigarettes as earrings. So I thought that was really funny, bro. I thought that was really funny. And you had Matt Jackson. He was wearing a bandana over his head, like Eddie Kingston would wear his bandana over his head. And so yeah, so Kingston and Pentagon, they went right after the Bucks. And so the Bucks, at one point, they accidentally super kicked Michael Nakazawa, who was also there. He was in a crowd. So they accidentally super kicked Michael Nakazawa. And so we had a diving drop kick to Nick's testicles, right in the testicles, with the chair from Pentagon. So that had to hurt, man. It had to hurt. And so Kingston and Pentagon, they took out tables. And so we had a powerbomb to Kingston on the bottom of the table from the Bucks. And so we had a Canadian destroyer. We had a Canadian destroyer to Matt Jackson through the table outside the ring from the ring apron. So that was, oh my God, that was crazy. And so we had a swanton bomb. We had a swanton bomb to Kingston on a trash can from Nick. He kicked out. And we had Pentagon hit Sling Blades to the Bucks. And so we had a released Northern Light suplex to Pentagon from Matt. We had a tornado DDT to Matt from Penta. And then Eddie Kingston, he had locked in a chokehold, or the rear naked choke, whatever you want to call it, to Matt. And so Nick, he had broke up the pin. Or not the pin, he had broke up the submission move by hitting a 450 splash on a referee. So I thought that was really funny, bro. He could have hit it on Kingston. Well, he couldn't hit it on Kingston because if he would have hit it on Kingston, he would have accidentally hit his brother. So he did the smart thing by taking out the referee with that 450 splash. So I thought that was really cool and really funny, man. And so yeah, so Matt, he had tapped out, but the referee didn't see it because he's knocked out. And so the Good Brothers, they had came out and they took out Eddie Kingston and Pentagon. And so Pentagon ended up taking out the Good Brothers with a tope. And, you know, at that point, man, everybody's going back and forth. I cannot keep up with all this stuff. We had Cutler. He almost sprayed Matt Jackson with the cold spray from last time, but he had caught himself. And so he tried to spray Pentagon with it, but he kept missing. He kept spraying it, but he kept missing. And so Frankie Kazarian had came out. Frankie Kazarian, the elite hunter, he had came out and took out Brandon Cutler. And then while he was about to powerbomb Brandon Cutler through the table, and so while he was about to powerbomb Brandon Cutler, he was still spraying it around. So I thought that was funny too. And so he put Brandon Cutler through the table with a powerbomb. And so yeah, we had a Fear Factor. So we had Pentagon, he had his finish move, the Fear Factor. And we had Eddie Kingston, he hit his spinning back fist. I forgot what he called it, but he hit the spinning back fist to Matt. From Matt. And so they went for the cover. Kingston went for the cover, but you know the referee isn't there. So another referee had came out, and so the referee went for the count 1, 2, and then Nick, he had pulled the referee out of the ring. And so Frankie Kazarian had took out Nick, and then the Good Brothers had took out Kazarian with a magic killer. And so Kingston, he had took out some thumbtacks, and so he put the thumbtacks in the ring. And so Matt, he had grabbed the thumbtacks from the ring, and he had threw the thumbtacks at Eddie Kingston's face. And so these teams were going back and forth. Everybody was going back and forth. Everybody was all over the place. We had a top rope hurricanrana to Pentagon from Nick, I believe it was Nick, on the thumbtacks. So that had to hurt, man. And so the Bucks had gave Kingston a super kick party. And so at the end of the match, man, with the end of the match, we had the Bucks. They had put thumbtacks. They put thumbtacks in Eddie Kingston's mouth. They put it in his mouth, and they gave him a super kick. They gave him a super kick for the win, a double super kick to Eddie Kingston to win the match. So Young Bucks win the match and are still the AEW World Tag Team Champions, man. Really great match, awesome match, man. The best match on the show. Street fight, man, and the crowd, the spots in this match, man, and just the crowd reaction in this match made it a better match, man. Everybody did a great job tonight in their matches, man. Everybody did a great job. They went all out, bro. They went all out. And that crowd, man, the crowd just gave everybody that, that extra adrenaline, bro, to go all out, bro. And so, yeah, man. And this match was rightfully so the main event, because this was a main event match. And so my question is, who's next for the Bucks? Who is next for the Bucks? I'm going with either FTR or Santana and Ortiz, man. Either of those teams, man, because they deserve that. The feud that they're gonna have right now, man, it is a tag team championship worthy feud. So if I have to drop the titles, if the Bucks have to drop the titles, man, I'll give it to Santana and Ortiz, bro. either FTR or Santana and Ortiz. You probably can't do FTR because they're heels and the Bucks are heels, so you got to give it to a babyface. So it might be Santana and Ortiz. That's just me. That's what I think it is. It might just be Santana and Ortiz, and then FTR and Santana and Ortiz will eventually feud over the tag team titles. Maybe not right now, but maybe at a later time. And so yeah, man, that was it, man. That was it with the show, man. Really good show. Really good show, man. Great show. Great show, man. This everything about it, man. I just love everything about this show tonight, man. Just the crowd reaction, just the crowd being back, the matches, the segments on this show. I just loved it, man. It was great, man. Great show. And just like what I said before, man, this is a breath of fresh air, a breath of fresh freaking air. You know, just to have the crowd back, man. Because we've been without crowds for the longest, and now we're here, man. We are back to normal, man. Back to freaking normal. And you know, Tommy N making his debut. That was really shocking, bro. And I said this last week, man. I said this last night, and I said this last week. You did not want to miss AEW tonight. You did not want to miss it because if you did not watch this show tonight, you missed a lot. You missed a lot, man. You missed a lot of great matches on this show. You missed Tommy N making his debut. You missed everything, man. You missed everything on this show if you did not watch this show. And so yeah, man, this is a great show, man. I'll say it over and over and over again. This is a great freaking show. And so yeah, man, that was it with that, man. That was it with Dynamite, and that was it with the review for AEW Dynamite Road Rager for July 7th, 2021. And yeah, man, I cannot wait for next week, man, for Fyter Fest, man. Fyter Fest is looking to be a great show too, man. That coffin match. So I think the coffin match might be the main event. It might be the main event of the show. And so yeah, man. If you like this video, man, hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And then right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I am here each and every single week. I'm here on Tuesdays for NXT. I'm here on Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite. And I'm here on Thursdays for Impact Wrestling. So yeah, man. And speaking of Impact Wrestling, I'll see you guys tomorrow for Impact Wrestling for Thursday. And yeah, man, if you missed my last week's review of AEW Dynamite, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. And yeah, man, the link to that video will be down below in the description. So make sure you either hit this video right here or hit the link down below in the description. So yeah, man. And yeah. And once again, guys, man, thank you for the support. Thank you for the love and the support for my show. Thank you, man. Thank you. And comment down below, man. Tell me how you felt about this episode of AEW Dynamite, man. Tell me exactly how you felt about tonight's episode. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. See you guys tomorrow for Impact Wrestling. And yeah, man. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care. Stay safe. And don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.